Hey everybody, this is Chris from Coaching Kids Soccer. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm going to do a little presentation today on width and depth. Um, this is a pretty simple topic, and it'll help coaches understand um, exactly how to create a little bit of shape and width and depth. So let's talk about the word shape first. The word shape came into soccer a number of years ago. And it's just really another way of saying positions. It's just that this is my shape and this is how we move, right? So if we've got the ball here and the ball gets played in, then we're going to create an attacking shape to help the ball. That's really all it says. It's just a way to say how to move as a group, our shape, right? Um, or if we're defending and we lose the ball, let's say this guy's attacking. All right, so he's going to go and meet him. He's going to tuck in, and we're going to get our defending shape. It's pretty, just a buzzword, that's all. So when you hear the word positions and you hear the word shape, uh, it's just more of a group and how we work together. That's all it is. So let's talk about width and depth. Most kids, when they're playing soccer, want the ball. So you'll see a lot of this. You'll see the forward coming back on top. You'll see a very clumped thing. So what happens is it's bunch ball, right? They want the ball. So what happens with the defenders is they start to come with, and that creates real havoc. And so you can imagine now if you had another 4 defenders on here, you would have a real mess. Okay, and somebody would have to dribble out of that space. So what we always want to teach our strikers is that they need to stay high. There needs to be a space in here, right, between um, the striker and the midfielder, or striker and defender, whoever's playing. And I'll put that there. Now, the second thing is to create some width. Right, so when we get the ball, these players backtrack out as fast as they can. What we want to do is have them face while they're backtracking. We don't want them to turn their back and run, because then they can't see this player with the ball. So they backtrack out as fast as they can, and now there's an option. And I call this right and left support. So right support, left support, and then this is what we call a split. So it's an easy way to explain it to the kids. You're going to create right support over here, you're going to create left support over here, and you're going to create a little split right here. And this could be a split too. Right? We could split that pass and play it in there. Alright, so you have the basis for width and depth. The reason we have width is to create passing angles, and the reason we have depth is because we always want someone out here. So if this ball is played wide and this player ran back in to get it, there would be absolutely nobody to pass to, except now all he could do is dribble. Alright, so if this guy's here, it's an option to play into him, so he can hold the ball up for the team and let other players get forward, which is a whole nother concept in itself, probably more advanced, which we won't talk about. Probably most likely at the younger levels, this kid will get it and try and beat this player and go to goal. Right, he'll turn, go to goal, try and beat him and go to goal. Holding the ball up is will be learned as they play more in these shapes. So there you have the basis for width and depth. If the coach is coaching from the sideline, he can encourage this. Right? So maybe you've got this. Maybe the coach says, he tells this player, as this player starts to travel back in, he's like, no, stay high. This player will stay high. And he's like, okay, outside back comes left. Little Jimmy, come left. Come wider of that player. He'll encourage the shape. So the ball's traveled back into his feet there. So now he's going to encourage the shape or the split pass. And that's an easy way to coach it. You can also coach it in your small-sided games during practice. That's a great way to do it. An easy exercise is you have one player on the field to press, and these guys have to get their shape. I wouldn't do this with 3v3 or 4v4, or unless the kids are really, really skillful. I would work more on their technique than worrying about their shape. And when they start to get very skillful and they can dribble and pass really well, then you can introduce these concepts. Just need to be careful. This can be very boring. It can also stagnate the team if it's only about passing, and you don't want to take away their creativity if they're good dribblers. So you can still encourage the dribble, right? So if this player wants to, he could dribble into this space. This player gets out of the way, and now it's 1v1. There's a million things you can do here. So now you have the basis. Let's just recap real quickly. We don't want the bunch ball. We don't want players coming back on top and crowding things. We want to make sure the striker stays out. So we explain that this is the depth. Then we want right and left support on the ball and a split. All right, so he can split it. And this forward could come back in and ask for it because he's got a little bit of space in here. So now you got the basis for width and depth, left-right split. These kids can still dribble and should be encouraged to. If there's a big space in front of them, let them take it. If they do make that decision, that's a good decision. So I appreciate you guys checking Coaching Kids Soccer out. I hope this was informative. Please leave me some feedback, and I will talk to you soon.